Hello and welcome to Teleislas News, the most important news of the day. The citizens involved in the events of last Friday were through videos on social networks. There was apparently an abuse of authority by the National Police in Little Hill, gave a statement.
After the events that occurred on Friday where through social networks there is evidence of an alleged aggression by the authorities, one of the citizens involved gave his version of what happened.
In sudden, some police come in a car and they ask me for a search and thing, but they come in an aggressive way because minutes before they shoot one police up New Guinea, one in the next barrier we stayed up a week. So the man then come out aggressive, then wreck me up against the wall, then beg me one rekisa, give them the rekisa, and I manifest to them, say I got home jail, that's why I don't want to take me up now, take out the medida for me. So I beg them if I just make a go in and my hole, go take out my paper, them and then say no, and then start beat me with the gun buckle, then bust me head, then bust me teeth. Then they harass me up, then this and that. So when I do get figure in Nicola's house, Nicola's usually the house out of corner, that when the man then put on the handcuff them by me and then start treat me bad, and one of them when they stab me with one of the window.
According to the young man, Celico Garcia Herrera was released a few minutes later after the assault. Policeman said that he was not the one who had shot.
Then carry me direct New Guinea. The rest of police and the thing happen. Like if they save them could identify me as possibly suspicious or they've done me do the thing. But lucky thing said the police then said they're not now for those, but still after that then carry me to the hospital. And up at the hospital and take photo back again, then don't to see me they bleed with me more mash up and everything, then don't say they want to carry me and go see one doctor and then take me from there. After then don't take photo and then show the another see him where they will shoot. If see him say no, they never win in and then carry that the Comando de Policía.
The commander of the National Police also commented on the matter.
Al momento de que nuestro patrullero fue desarmado.
At the moment that our patrolman was disarmed, he was injured with a firearm. The community is not in solidarity with this fact.
And as for the real culprits, a few minutes ago, the National Police announced their capture at the command. In Silvet Mitchell with more news.
Hello, Lisa. Good afternoon. As Carlos Alberto Puerto Barrios, a young boy of 20 years old, resident of the sector of New Guinea, was identified this young man for attacking this police official in the events of last Friday. The Colonel Maria Elena Gomez stated.
Ya se tiene.
We already have an imprisonment measure decreed by a judge of procedural safeguards for Mr. Carlos Alberto Puerto, a native of San Andres, exactly from the sector of New Guinea, who is 20 years of age and that, according to all the evidentiary material, is responsible for causing a gunshot wound at the height of the head to an officer from the police department of San Andres. He's also responsible for the theft of the elements, the officer's duty weapon, a pistol.
Regarding the events and alleged abuse of the authority, the police commander stated that an investigation is underway.
Con relación a este tema, ya se.
In relation to this fact, an investigation has already been opened, which will be what will clarify what happened there.
This is all information. Silvet Mitchell Archibald informed for Teleislas News.
Thank you, Silvet. And in other news, in the last decree issued by the department, the government and the authorities give green light to a pilot test for the reopening of bars and nightclubs on the island.
Hello, Lisa and all the TV viewers. Well, yes, is it Decree 067 of the 10th of March of 2021, where the government makes some little implements to reopen all the commerce and all the establishments in our department, specifically talking about the bar, the discotheque, them. In this paragraph, paragraph number 2, then said they want to make a plan piloto if we can open them place with all the biosecurity protocols, but they have to beg a permission specifically to the Ministry of Health and also to the Secretary of Health in our department, so they can open. We talked to the one of them for some of them bar and discotheque in our department for them tell us what they feel about this new decree, and this is what they tell me.
The new decree seems to me as good news, and that it is favorable for the situation that we are going through, more than all for the bars, because we were the first to close and the last to open. Therefore, it seems to me an extraordinary decision. The situation has been very hard because we who are located on what is known as the Zona Rosa can see that only one bar was open. Many have had to close due to debts, rent, and the lack of income generation. We practically had the nightclub ready, and we did what we had to do with the protocols, the distancing and everything we were required. We cannot have the distance floor widely open. Therefore, all the tables are going to be placed on the dance floor, and the people who want to dance will have to do it right there at their table.
It's also important to mention that in this decree, in this paragraph number 2, it's also important to mention that they're going to seek to open also the movies in our department. They just have to beg the permission to all the authorities so this can be applied. This is all the information I report from here from the town of the island. Continue, Lisa, in the studio.
And in other news, the manager of the energy company of Archipelago, EDAS, announced that after inspection visit to the RSU plant, the request of the environmental attorney will be granted today, March 15, after 4 years of having established a popular action on the matter.
The general manager of EDAS gave information to the community where after the inspection visit to the RSU plant, the system of waste utilization for electric energy generation will start operating.
Today, 15th of March, the procedure are going to be developed at the Magic Garden and Sopesa installation in the Punta Evans area. Is that the two machines going to start to work and make permanent proof. The initial machine, the newest one that came in December, which is the CDR, the one what we're going to do is separate the trash and prepare it to deliver it to the RSU for the RSU can burn it and turn it into energy, and also done away with the trash. So this permanent proof them, they're going to be like 4 months starting from today. And the idea is to put an evaluation, the behavior of the two machines and the understanding between the two systems, so that we can give the perfect service towards handling the residuals at the Magic Garden.
The general manager of EDAS also informed that a prudent accumulation of waste will have to be made for the machinery to start working.
We need a difference like 2 to 3 weeks between one machine and the other one procedure, so that when it starts, start be permanent. That's what they were saying. So that's what we're doing today. And the idea is that during 4 months, we're going to be working that kind of way, and we will be overseeing it and evaluating it that they comply with all the requirements, the environmental, energetic, social, everything during these 4 months.
And the overflights with Kfir aircraft on the Colombian Air Force were carried out until yesterday.
On Saturday, the commander of air operations gave a report of the purpose of the overflights of Kfir aircraft in the archipelago. General Fernando Lozada said that these are already program operations that are done every year.
Son operaciones aeronavales donde estamos.
The reason for this visit is that we are doing some aeronaval exercises. Joint exercises of the National Navy and the Air Force are exercises that we do regularly. This year and this first semester, we decided to do it here in San Andres together with the Navy.
The general ruled out the possibility that it could be an external threat.
Estamos simplemente haciendo ejercicios.
We are simply doing exercises, and the operability is due to the fact that you know that since November 17th, we arrived to help our brothers in Old Providence. We are still in that exercise, and we are not going to stop until we finish all that work.
The overflights was carried out until yesterday, Sunday.
The environmental entity Carolina found several dead sharks on a busy beach in the south of the island.
An unfortunate environmental event occurred this weekend when the Corporation for the Sustainable Development of the Archipelago Carolina found 4 sharks lifeless, which showed signs of mistreatment. The environmental agency said that they are conducting investigation to find the culprits.
4 juvenile gray reef sharks were identified. The hypothesis was that someone found them and left them there to be dissected. The corporation is currently conducting the relevant investigation to find out how they got there. These sharks have evidence of mistreatment. This was presented by a person, and there is also a hypothesis that there is a science expedition that is going on and they are dissecting them. We are coordinating with the authorities to determine who is doing the dissection of these species.
We must remember that shark hunting is prohibited in the Biosphere Reserve. For this reason, the director of the corporation indicated sanctions for the culprits.
These species of sharks are protected species. You cannot make use of these species, let alone sacrifice them. It is important that people know that when they are identified in flagrante delicto, we will initiate the process of sanction and or criminal penalties. Then it is important that people know.
Carolina invites all the citizens to report any act of contamination or mistreatment of species in the Seaflower Biosphere Reserve.
Now let's get to know other facts that are making news in our brief view section of today.
The Environmental and Ecological Protection Group of the National Police visited Morris Landing and Vista Hermosa, where they delivered food for canines and felines. The authorities also gave educational talks on responsible pet ownership and highlighted the importance of knowing Law 1774. The Corporation for the Sustainable Development of the Archipelago of San Andres, Carolina, carried out during this weekend its environmental education program. Personnel of control, surveillance, and environmental education of the entity conducted awareness to the population living near the mangrove of New Guinea with the campaign against noise, which seeks to improve the quality of life in the acoustic environment, promoting actions aimed at raising awareness about the causes and effects of noise. The Secretary of Social Development conducted the workshop Growing Together for San Andres Island in the Sissom Well sector, a space in which women of the sector received empowerment techniques, self-esteem, anti-stress, and tips to improve their communication in social environments.
At this time, we continue with the weather forecast. The weather forecast for today, 15th of March, in the coastal area of Archipelago, the sky is mainly sunny. Temperature is 28 degrees Celsius, winds from the northeast direction with intensities of 14 kilometers per hour. Humidity forecast is 66% and probability of precipitation is 3%.